10,000 subscribers on YouTube means more than 1 million followers on TikTok at this point. Your total addressable market is everyone with one of these, a phone.
Yeah.
Billions of people across the globe.
I built a simple mobile app that scaled to $44,000 per month before I sold the business. And guess how it started? On a piece of paper.
My process of building a mobile app is very simple. Start with a good idea. Solve a painful problem for people. Outsource as much as you need. You can use AI tools to help you out. Building an app has become easier and easier.
Wow.
To build a mobile app in the next 30 days, you need Sensor Tower to spy on your competitors and see how much money they're making. You need Figma to design the app, and then you need Upwork to hire a talented developer to build your app. TikTok to promote the app. The easiest way to start marketing your product today is to make content about it. Launch as fast as possible. Do not be a perfectionist. Just get your product out there.
Talk us through your Wordle journey.
My computer science teacher, he let me work on my apps and my side projects. One of those apps was Wordle. I had the most popular mobile app in the world. It was called Wordle. Sonia and Simon, these are the tools you absolutely need to launch and scale a mobile app.
Stephen, we have a lot of young entrepreneurs that follow our podcast. What are the 3 critical things that you'd want to share with those people going into 2026?
I think when you're starting out as an entrepreneur and you're building a product, you should always build something that you're passionate about. And one thing I always recommend is solving a problem for yourself. One of my apps was a quit vaping app. My friends and I, we got addicted to vaping in college, so I built a product to solve that. And because it was a problem I was dealing with, I was the ideal customer. So I was the best person to build it. So always start with a problem that you experience in your day-to-day life. Number 2 would be launch as fast as possible. Do not be a perfectionist. Just get your product out there so you can start getting feedback, start generating revenue, and it will make everything else so much easier. And then number 3 would be distribution is king. So get good at social media, start filming content. Even if you're afraid to be in front of the camera, like I think nowadays you have to be good at marketing, even if you're the founder. So take ownership of that and you'll do well.
What was it like for you in school, having a mind like yours, an entrepreneurial mind, but being in a school system that was probably a little bit rigid?
It was not good. I was not the best student. Did not get the best grades, but I don't know. I feel like that resonates with a lot of founders out there, right? We don't think in the most traditional way. We don't think as employees. And I think school kind of pushes you in towards that employee mindset, follow the rules, study all this material, get the questions right, do as you're told. But entrepreneurs really don't think that way. So, it was tough for me in school. And, I didn't enjoy it too much. I did go to college. I did graduate college, but it was more of a social experience for me. But what I will say is there are teachers out there who do understand, entrepreneurs as students. One of them was my computer science teacher. His name was Mr. Nicholson. Shout out to Mr. Nicholson. And he let me work on my apps and my side projects for a grade in his class. And that was really one of the pivotal moments that, gave me confidence in the skills to do what I do now. So, I would say school isn't a bad thing, but it's tough when you're going through it as an entrepreneur, but just stick it out, and it'll build you good social skills and you'll build amazing relationships. So, best of both worlds, I guess.
Talk us through your Wordle journey. That seemed to blow up for you overnight. How did you handle all of it?
Yes. So actually that teacher that I just spoke about, Mr. Nicholson, I built my first apps in his class when I was in high school. I was like 15 years old. One of those apps was a game and I called it Wordle. And this was in 2016. I still to this day do not remember how I came up with the name, but I called it Wordle. So I built this app. It was a simple little word game. And then, I kind of gave up on the project. I didn't, work on it for quite some time. And then after I graduated college in 2021, in December, I looked at my App Store dashboard one morning and I saw that Wordle had 400,000 downloads pretty much overnight. And I was like, okay, this is fake traffic. Someone's playing a game on me. What's going on? So I Googled Wordle and a New York Times article pops up and it says Wordle is a love story. And I was like, there's no way they could be talking about my game that I built when I was 16, right? There's no way. So sure enough, I look at the article and another developer named Josh Wardle had built a browser game called Wordle, right? And his was going mega viral. But when people are looking for a game, naturally they go to the App Store. So millions of people went to the App Store, typed in Wordle. His wasn't there, but mine was. So people were downloading my Wordle game. And the rest is history. It was like the craziest 6 months of my life.
Jumping into mobile apps, what made you focus on that specifically for your business models?
I've been an entrepreneur for like since I was a little kid, and I tried a bunch of different business models. I tried drop shipping, I tried agencies, affiliate, trading. I tried it all, but they didn't really work out for me. With drop shipping, you had to manage physical products, you had to handle all the shipping, and it just didn't make sense. But I watched The Social Network, which is a movie about Mark Zuckerberg and how he made Facebook, and he was coding up websites, and I was like, this is the coolest thing ever. I wanted to get into software, so I taught myself on YouTube how to build websites. And then naturally that led into developing and building mobile apps. But I think it's the best business model out there, because what I understood from watching The Social Network was you can build one product one time and you can sell it to millions and millions of people. Your total addressable market is everyone with one of these, a phone.
Yeah.
Billions of people across the globe. So you can build truly impactful products that help people. And there's no limit to how wide they can be distributed. So software, mobile apps are the best business model to scale.
So if I want to build an app, what would you say? Like give us the steps that you would take us through right now if we want to go away and build an app.
Yeah, I think building an app has gotten much easier over the past couple of years, right? And the emerging new vibe coding or AI coding tools have made it so much easier for anyone to really build an app. But there's a simple process that I follow. And transparently, I'm not the best developer. I'm not the best coder in the world. I think my skill set is in marketing. So I like to outsource my weaknesses, and I bring on great developers. But my process of building a mobile app is very simple. Number one, start with a good idea. Solve a painful problem for people. If you start with a painful problem, it's going to be super easy to market, and your product is going to be much more attractive and purchasable from people because you're solving a problem for them. Number two, I like to sketch out what I think the app should look like. So I probably have a sketch here. Yeah. I sketch out what I think the app should look like. Very simple, on a piece of paper.
Cool.
And then I go to a website called 99 Designs. And here you can start a design contest. And you can get designers to compete to design your UI. And you pick your favorite and you only pay for that one, which is amazing. Or you can use AI design tools. And then once I have those designs, I hire a developer on Upwork. And typically I hire from Eastern Europe because they do very high quality work and it's relatively cheap. Or you can, vibe code your way to an MVP using Cursor or Claude Code or a tool like Bolt or Lovable. All those are viable options. But yeah, you don't have to let the complexity of building a mobile app stop you, right? You can outsource as much as you need. You can use AI tools to help you out. Building an app has become easier and easier.
So you're using pen to paper still?
Yeah.
Is there a reason for that?
This is the easiest way for me just to get my rough idea, like my rough plan of the mobile app out there is pen and paper.
Yeah.
I'm an old school guy. I'm a lazy guy, This is the easiest way for me to get a simple wireframe done. Because again, I'm not the best designer in the world, as you just saw. I like to outsource stuff to the experts. And by uploading this simple sketch, you could take a picture of the sketch and you could upload it into a tool, an AI design tool. Figma has AI design tools. There's Google's tool, Stitch. You can upload one of these wireframe sketches to those tools, and AI will build you a complete UI of your mobile app.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Like, you don't need to be a designer. You can start with a simple pen and paper sketch. And that's just the easiest form factor for me to get my ideas out there.
Steven, let's lean into your superpower, marketing. If I've got this app and I want to launch it, how would I go about getting it discovered? What's the best tip you can give us?
Right here. You film yourself. You film yourself making TikToks. That's how I started, right? I was in my apartment. I committed to making a TikTok about my product every single day, and it cost me $0. I just made TikToks about my product. And eventually, once you get some users in, you get some revenue in, you can start to scale that, and you can hire other creators, you can hire influencers, you can start running paid ads. But the easiest way to start marketing your product today is to make short-form content about it. And there's like a cheat code, which is called market research. So you can go onto TikTok or on Instagram and you can type in the keywords related to your product. And then you can filter by the most liked videos or the most viewed videos of all time. That's your market research.
Wow.
You take inspiration from and you learn from the content that is already going viral in your niche. And if you watch enough of that content, your brain will start to understand what type of content you should be making for your product, right? So if you spend time consuming content in your niche, you understand what goes viral in your niche, you'll be so much better at making content when it's time to film. And again, I recommend every founder get in the trenches and start marketing on short form content. It will make you so much more competent when you start to scale this up later, hire creators, run paid ads, etc.
With AI now, short form seems to be really oversaturated. Who's a creator that you think's doing it really well and marketing a product well?
Wow. Really good question. One, there's a buddy that comes to mind. His name is Cormac. He runs a product quality app. He rates the quality of water, food, different things that you would buy. He makes the content himself as the founder, and maybe he hires some creators as well, but I think he's crushing it. And yes, short form platforms are getting more and more saturated. And that's just natural, right? Like everyone is on social media, everyone's trying to make content, everyone's trying to blow up. But I truly don't think it matters as long as you are good at making content. Still, the people who make great content will go viral. And you just have to break through the noise and make high quality stuff.
What about doing things like this with a long form conversation? Do you find that there's more value in this now as far as you grabbing someone's attention for a longer period of time?
10,000 subscribers on YouTube means more than 1 million followers on TikTok at this point, right? I think YouTube is the most valuable platform out there. I'll ask you two this question. Try to remember one TikTok or Instagram reel that you watched yesterday and explain it to me.
Of course. Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
No, we can't.
No.
How about a YouTube video though?
Yeah, well, yours.
Yeah, we were watching you yesterday.
Yeah.
Right? There we go. So like there's something about the short form algorithms, like they're so great for that quick burst of attention, of views, whatever it is. So you capture their attention really quickly. And there are founders who are amazing at this. And this is why I was successful with Puff Counts, because I was able to capture attention for a short period of time and drive enough interest to check out my app on the App Store. But beyond that, it's not too sticky. The short form content isn't too sticky. So, that's why I started leaning into YouTube and creating long form YouTube content, is because you can build a much stronger relationship with people over a longer video. You can provide more information, more value. You can talk more about yourself. I think it's, the best platform to grow on right now.
When it comes to scaling, what's one thing that entrepreneurs often get wrong when it comes to scaling their business?
I think a lot of people give up too early, whichever route you go. There's so many ways to scale your business. There's SEO, there's app store optimization, there's influencers, there's micro influencers, there's paid ads, and all of them work. But people give up way too early. You do have to put in the work to make any one of those profitable over a long period of time for you. You do have to commit to them. And sometimes, like with paid ads, you have to put your capital up and you have to kind of put your money where your mouth is. But I would say just commit to one channel first. Once you master one channel, once you master one scaling mechanism, then you can expand. But don't overload yourself and try to do them all at once. It'll be hard.
Can you take us behind the scenes of your business?
Sure.
What does it look like? We get to see the front end. We get to see what we see you put out there. What's going on behind the scenes? What's that environment like?
The latest project that I'm working on is called Posted. It is a marketplace, a B2B2C product. So we have a web app for brands and we have a mobile app for creators. And Posted connects brands and creators and helps them generate content. The behind the scenes with that business is more complex than any business I built in the past. We have a team of 5 developers. We have our head of product, Zach, who's in Canada. We have our sales team, Tom and David in Germany. So it's definitely a team effort, right? And there's so many, with any software, there's different parts of the business, right? You have the development, you have the marketing, you have it's a nightmare sometimes controlling these, but it's fun. And at the end of the day, you build these skills and you become a founder and you build a team. And that's where the real success comes in. If you can build a solid team around you, everything becomes so much easier.
And where are you spending most of your attention in the business?
I think leading the overall vision, making sure that everybody at the company and the mission is aligned towards one goal, right? And then of course, marketing. That's where I feel like my skill set lies, is in marketing. So I handle a majority of that. And then I outsource everything else, design, development, etc.
Stephen, how's Posted different from other influencer apps?
We deliver content to brands in a much different way. Right now, to get in touch with the creators, it's super distorted process, right? A lot of brand owners are DMing thousands of creators. They get one reply maybe, and the creator will give them some outrageous price. But on Posted, you as a brand, you put your brand out there, you create a deal, and you create a content brief. And creators will make content for your brand for free and associate a bid with that content, right? So it's like the stock market of content creation. We're putting these opportunities in front of the creators. If they like them and they like the brands, then they make content and they say, hey, if you want this piece of content, this is my price. So the creators put their bid. The brand can approve or deny or negotiate with the creator. And then afterwards, if the brand accepts, the creator posts the content and the brand owns the content to scale on paid ads or further. We also do contests where brands put up a sum of money and creators compete to get the most viral video for the brands. So we do it very different. We try to make it as streamlined as possible, and we try to give more opportunity to the creators who don't get as much inbound from brands, if you will. So we're trying to make it the stock market of content creation. We're trying to build the world's next ad platform here.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
Yeah.
We were looking at it yesterday. It's really impressive. And so what's the take up like? This is pretty early days. So what's it like right now?
Yeah, we've seen a lot of interest. So we're over 1,000 brands now. We're over 40,000 creators. So it's scaling and people like it. And you know, we're a small bootstrap team and we're working, you know, this is all we do. I live, breathe, and eat Posted like all day. It's all we're working on. So, you know, we're excited and it's scaling quickly.
Okay, so your focus is Posted. You've obviously got so many other successful businesses. Does luck have anything to do with it, or is that not a thing?
You know, I think yes. I think I'm a very lucky and blessed person. That's for sure. Especially, you know, with Wordle. But, you know, I think volume and honing your skills negates luck, right? If you do enough, if you post enough content, if you build enough, if you try enough, if you learn enough, eventually you get lucky, right? So we could call it both. But yes, I like to think I'm very lucky and very blessed.
Stephen, we're in a really interesting time. You know, a 45-year-old right now is in a bit of a challenging period because the world is changing so quickly from what they learned when they were 20 years old, you know, where for someone like yourself, you're evolving with this as it goes. What would you say to a 45-year-old right now who may be struggling with the rapid change with AI here, with all of the different bits and pieces that everybody has to go and do, create content, all these kinds of things. And, you know, they probably saw their parents have a job for 30 years and never change. What would you say to those people right now that maybe need some advice to learn from someone like you in the entrepreneurial space that wants to grab some knowledge from you?
I mean, I think you said it, right? Like, just take the effort to learn this stuff. There are so many talented entrepreneurs, people who are specialized in these AI tools, and they post all of their knowledge free on YouTube. So go learn about it. And I think if you're older, more established in your industry, you can also hire these super hungry young people who don't necessarily know how to use these skills and generate revenue yet. I think, you know, people in that age group, like old people who are more established, already established, older than the younger 20-year-olds right now, like they do still have the benefit of knowing how the world works and how business works a little bit better than the young guys. So I think you can learn and you can also leverage the young talent out there.
Stephen, if I've got a startup, is organic growth or paid ads, is that better? Which one would you lean more into?
I think it's both. I think organic, it's definitely both, right? Like organic is great starting out because there's low cost, but it's not as consistent, right?
Yeah.
I was on the TikTok organic hamster wheel for years of my life, like posting content in my apartment. And then when I started to scale that content on paid ads, it became like my life became so much easier. So I think you start organically, you post organically, you tell, and the algorithm will tell you what content works, right? The algorithm will validate your organic content based on what gets the most views, right? And then you take that organic content and you put it on paid ads after it works. For example, I had a video, it went viral, it hit like 6 million views. I simply took that organic piece of content, I put it on paid ads, I pressed start spending my money, and it ran profitably. And it was so much easier for me because I had this library of content that I had posted organically already. And I already knew it was going to work, right? So do both.
you've got a huge following. Your community, are you doing anything special with that community? We're seeing, Stephen Bartlett go and do private viewings of some, unique content, things like that. And I'm loving watching, it's no longer just about the subscriber or the amount of followers or the amount of viewers anymore. It's also about what you're doing with your community. So what are you doing with your community in the next few years?
That is a great question. I would love to get some in-person event going on. I think that would be awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe, this is a great question. 'Cause I don't know the answer yet, but I would love to do something in person. And I don't know, maybe have like an app building competition, give a nice little prize to whichever founder builds the coolest app. I'm not sure, but I'll think about that.
Stephen, before we started recording, Simon and I were chatting about the fact that you don't have a book, and I was saying to him, I would love it if you had a book, because I would honestly go and buy it straight away.
What she actually said was, if she had to line up at 3 a.m. in the morning to go and get the book, she would.
I would, yes. Because there's so much knowledge that, you do share it on your platform, but if you were to write a book, what's the most valuable chapter in that book going to be?
Oh, there's so many, because there's so many chapters. There's so many chapters that would be important. I think the biggest thing is, this sounds cliche, but follow what you're passionate about, right? Like, I've been into entrepreneurship for my entire life, and this is all I ever wanted to do. I knew this is, my path when I was starting out as a young lad. And it was hard in the beginning, right? But I just kept going. So I think passion and determination, the chapter would be about those two things, and staying true to yourself, right?
Yeah, I love it.
Let's talk about exiting a company, because obviously it must be a very positive experience, but also sad, I guess, at some time as well, because you've put so much time into your baby. What have exits been like for you? And then the current company that you've got now, do you already have your exit in your mind?
Always. Everything I build is always for sale for the right price. And yeah, people are confused as to why I sold my last company. I think it comes down to, I'm an entrepreneur at heart, and I always have these new ideas, right? So it made sense for me to sell Puff Count and start on this new venture, which is Posted. But yeah, it is an emotional experience. The broker that I worked with, his name is Orel. Shout out Orel from OEB Digital. I call him my broker, but also my therapist, because I was always going back and forth of is it really the right time to let go of this? Because I did spend 4 years of my life building my last project, but it made sense for me, and it was a great experience overall, and I wasn't too upset about it because I had the next thing that I was focused on. And to answer your question about Posted, yeah, for sure. I'm imagining a world where a bigger company acquires us. Is it yet? No, because I wake up every day excited to work on this company, and I think the time that you let go of it is when you no longer feel that anymore. When you wake up and it's like, okay, what's next in my life? I think it's different for everyone. But
so, do you know the names of those companies that will buy it?
That will buy Posted? I'm not sure. Hopefully a big one. Hopefully a big one. I truly we're trying to build the world's next ad platform, and I think I know we're going to achieve that. Time just needs to catch up to our vision and what we're building. So I would imagine some of the ad platforms out there would probably think it's pretty tasty acquisition.
Stephen, what is the secret to getting people to notice your product as fast as possible?
I think it is that tip about market research, right? You can look at the most viral content in your niche on Instagram, on TikTok. So you should already have a good idea of how to market your product based on the market research that you've done, and just build content like that, create content like that, create content about what people are already talking about. And you can find that very easily on social media. So I would say that is the fastest way to replicate content that is already going viral organically. Everybody has an app idea. All of our friends, everybody has an app idea, and I feel like people think it's too complicated to build, and they're scared of outsourcing it and hiring someone else. But I think all that stuff is like a glass ceiling over your head, and it can seem like a lot if you look at the full picture, but in reality, you just need to go step by step by step. And that's why I do things so simply. And my chicken scratch sketch here, this is step 1 of the process, and I go to step 2. And if you break it down into simple steps, you'll be fine. And look, like, I think hiring people is the way to go, especially if you don't have a strong development background. Don't be afraid to hire people on the internet, right? Like it's more and more common these days, and you don't have to be scared of people stealing your idea or anything like that. Like that's one of the questions that I always get. What if I hire someone on the internet and they steal my idea? Your idea, truthfully, is worth this much. It's worth nothing. Because more likely than not, your idea already exists. A product already exists. The execution is everything. With all the new AI tools coming in, like it's easier and easier and easier to build a product. There are going to be more products than ever because, you know, the threshold for building products has lowered drastically. So to really break through the noise, you have to be a master at distribution. You have to get good at marketing. You have to know how to get in front of your customer better than anyone else. So I think that's where the real skill lies today.
Let's talk about hiring, because finding the right person to bring into your business it's a struggle for anyone.
Yeah.
How do you make sure that you're surrounding yourself by the A players and getting those guys into your business?
I think it takes a long time. I think hiring is the hardest skill, and I'm by no means a master at hiring people. Like that's still the number one thing that I'm working on myself. But, you know, at the end of the day, I like to work with people that I get along with, that I vibe with, that I trust, right? And, you know, my hiring process on Upwork, I like to take a look at their job success in the past. I like to take a look at, you know, how much they've earned in the past on Upwork. That's always a very good indicator. But, you know, you have to get to know these people, as, you know, human beings. What motivates them? What drives them? What do they do on the weekends? You know what I mean? Like because these people will become your family. I consider my entire team at Posted my family, and, you know, we get along, we joke. So, you know, we keep it very light. I like to treat them as best as I can. And, you know, over time, you will find those A players who you keep around, right? Like a lot of the people who work on Posted now worked with me on Puff Count and in projects even before Puff Count. So, you know, I keep them very close and bring them to everything that I'm working on. So it takes time, but you can find really solid people out there.
Stephen, we like to wrap up our episodes with our guests sharing an item that is important to them. Do you have an item that you'd like to share on the podcast today?
The most important, probably, item in my apartment, the Bible. I was raised Christian, go to church every Sunday, keep myself grounded in everything that I do, including business with this guy. So.
Oh, amazing. If someone has been watching this episode and they've made it this far into the episode, they have loved everything that you have been saying, Stephen. So is there something that you want to say to that person?
Yeah, absolutely. Go for it. Don't be afraid to build that thing that you're passionate about. Just take the first step and then take the next one, and don't give up. And if you want my help, my advice, or anything like that, you can check out my YouTube. It's just my full name, @Stephen Cravotta. Hit me up on Instagram, send me a message. I'm more than happy to chat with any entrepreneurs out there. So just go for it.
Oh, Stephen, thank you so much for joining us on the podcast today, mate.
Thank you.
Thank you both so much. It was great.